LG has announced its first ever Mini LED television just before CES. Let's talk about it. Hello everyone, Vincent Teo from HDTV Test here. This morning, LG Electronics has announced its first ever lineup of Mini LED televisions, which the company calls QNED Mini LED TV. Now, if you've been following my channel and if you've been following the general trends in the display industry, you may know that next year, more and more TV manufacturers are going to be adopting and implementing Mini LED backlighting on their high-end LED LCD televisions, and these include Samsung, and now we have confirmation from LG as well. The thing with Mini LED TV is that you have to understand that it is transmissive, which means that a backlight is still required. But because the size of these mini LEDs are so small, more of them can be packed into the same area of screen size compared with conventional LEDs, and this confers a few advantages. The first advantage is that the more LEDs you have in the same area of screen size, the more you are able to segment the zones into more local dimming zones. And as you are maybe aware of how full array local dimming or FALD systems work, the more local dimming zones you have, potentially the better the outcome in terms of the increase in contrast. So you may be able to get even deeper blacks, even brighter whites, expanding the contrast range that a TV is capable of if you have more full array local dimming zones. Now, with the QNED Mini LED televisions, LG is quoting up to almost 30,000 mini LEDs and nearly 2,500 local dimming zones on the flagship 86-inch 8K model, resulting in an impressive contrast ratio of 1,000,000 to 1. Now, we do not know for sure whether these QNED Mini LED TVs will be using IPS, that's in-plane switching, or VA, that's vertical alignment LCD panel. But given the history of LG and also their sister company LG Display, then I think it is almost 100% certain that the company will still be using IPS panels. And the thing with IPS panels is that they provide a wide viewing angle, but they have weaker native contrast. And it would be interesting to see whether these 2,500 of local dimming zones will be able to overcome the contrast and provide a greater boost, not only for SDR but also for HDR as well. Now, another interesting element of the QNED Mini LED TV comes from the QNED part. Now, I think, a few months ago, I did a video talking about how LG has secretly registered the trademark for QNED, and initially we suspected that either the company is investing in the self-emissive QNED technology, or, they are just trying to one-up Samsung to try and prevent them from taking the trademark. But it turns out that LG's interpretation of QNED is entirely different from Samsung Display's interpretation. So with Samsung Display's interpretation, their QNED is a true self-emissive technology. It stands for quantum nanorod emitting diode. So basically, they are using nanorods to replace the blue emitting OLEDs in their QD OLED technology and provide the light source, which can be self-emissive. Whereas, the interpretation from LG's point of view is that QNED stands for quantum nanocell light emitting diode. Obviously, the Q stands for quantum dot. So with the QNED Mini LED televisions, the TVs will be combining the best attributes of quantum dot technology. So I believe these TVs will actually have a quantum dot color enhancement film, and they will also be using nanocell technology. And nanocell technology is LG Display's proprietary light-absorbing molecular material that works to absorb light and therefore shape the spectral power distribution. And by combining both quantum dot and also nanocell technology, what LG is hoping to achieve is to provide an even wider color gamut and even richer color expression. And basically, they are trying to achieve the ultimate in LED LCD technology. And the thing to understand is that, QNED Mini LED is still transmissive. It is not self-emissive. So you have to understand that QNED stands for quantum nanocell light emitting diode. ED stands for LED, to be honest. And I think, the reason why LG hasn't adopted QNED because, it just doesn't roll off the tongue as easily. And, there are better ways to improve the dexterity of your tongue. So it is QNED, but it needs to be combined with Mini LED. So the official term is QNED Mini LED TV. And I think, the proof will come when we actually get our hands on a review sample. And it will be interesting to see whether these can begin to compete with Samsung's new QLED Neo Mini LED televisions. And LG is still keen to stress that OLED is still their top tier display technology. So if you want the best in picture quality, you will still need to give OLED a go. But if you, let's say, cannot afford OLED, or if you are worried about the risk, however minimal, of permanent burn-in on OLED display technology, then maybe this QNED Mini LED can provide a viable alternative for you rather than you having to go with Sony or Samsung. And the way QNED Mini LED sits within LG's 2021 TV lineup hierarchy is that, it will sit between Nanocell and also OLED. So OLED is top, and then next comes QNED Mini LED, and then, below that will be Nanocell, and then below that there will be non-Nanocell UHD LED LCD televisions. And I think, by segmenting their product lineup in this manner, it is also beneficial from the consumer's point of view. The price for the company's QNED Mini LED television hasn't been announced yet, but I would expect it to be slightly lower than OLED, but more expensive than Nanocell, providing sort of a good midway option between going ultra budget or going ultra high end. If you'd like to learn more about other next-gen display technologies, I've created a playlist here if you'd like to click on it, and I'll see you in the next video.